Did you guys hear? A pastor got tattoo on his body. But guess what? He's not even the first pastor to get a tattoo. But how come everybody's making a big deal out of this? Now, when I first saw this post of Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo, about him getting a tattoo, it was interesting because I was excited about it. You know why? Because I personally do like tattoos. But I like the very moderate, cute ones. Tattoo is not a sin. But, there are a lot of things that we as Christians should do and not do. Now, if I say tattoo is not a sin, it doesn't mean that you should go draw like a very scary thing on your skin and say it's not a sin. Okay, because our body belongs to God. Now, I've listened to a lot of people come online and talk about, Pastor K getting a tattoo. Pastor K, by the way, is a Nigerian pastor, Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo. And let me tell you guys, I am one of Pastor K's strongest, would I say fan, believer, follower. Pastor Kingsley and his wife, Pastor Mildred, have highly influenced some of my ideas and principles about marriage to a great extent. I started watching and listening to Pastor Kingsley and his wife. I don't know when. It's been such a long time, honestly. If I name some of the pastors I love and I watch online, Pastor Kingsley and his wife are top. Pastor Selman, and of course, some other pastors, okay? So, back to this tattoo thing. It's not a sin, honestly. And I think that from, listening to people's conversation and reading people's comments, the people are not really condemning him, if I'm permitted to use that word, not because they think it's sin. I think most people are coming from the point of view that he is such a great influence that him doing this and publicly posting it would influence people negatively. Yes, people that are not morally and spiritually sound. I absolutely agree. But he is not the first pastor to put a tattoo on his body. Talking about him coming online to share, remember that is one of his biggest platforms, okay? And these days, honestly, social media is the thing. So if you ask me personally, tattoo is not a sin. I do like tattoos. I like piercing as well. I remember I've done a video, I think last year, about the things that I like that will come as shocking to people, but I never did post that video. One of the things that I talked about that I liked was tattoo done nicely and also in moderation. Because these things sometimes can be spiritual. When you do one, you end up doing another and another and another. Sometimes people don't know when to stop. I personally, I like piercing. I like nose rings, like nose piercing. I like the multiple piercings people get. And it's something that I like. I am going to do at some point because I love it. Why have I not done it yet? I don't know. I like to make sure that I want something. I give it time. I ensure that after a month or two, I still want what I want before I go ahead and do it. Yes. So I'm just here to say that tattoo, I believe, is not a sin. Yes. It's an individual thing. Honestly, Christianity is actually an individual race. But I know that people come for pastors and people in authority or high places because, God has placed people under you. God has placed you over people to disciple, to guide, to lead. So I think it's from the place of leadership and guidance that people are making noise about his statue, not because it's actually a sin. So sometimes when as a Christian leader, you do certain things, you tend to become an influence to people looking up to you and following you. I think that is where, it comes to play. But at the same time, because you know me, I'm a very balanced Christian. I'm not rigid. I'm here and I try to make sure that I'm not completely immovable in a good way. So if you also want to say that because people are looking up to him, he cannot do what he wants to do, then how can somebody actually live a fulfilled life? Because if you keep worrying about other people, then you will never do what you like. I'm saying this now because these things that happen to people and with people that we see online that we don't know and we know are very relatable, okay? Nobody knows how long it took him, how he struggled, how he thought about it. If I do it, what would be the reactions of people? Well, if I don't do it, am I also missing out in my own life? Because, let me do what I want and all of that. These are things that we struggle with as Christians, striking balance, making sure we're not doing too much, and making sure that as much as we're trying to please God, do what is right according to the scripture, we are also not depriving ourselves of the things that we really like to do that doesn't displease God. So at the end of the day, tattoo is not a sin, but I think people also should not discredit and cancel other people's opinion, because when people share their opinions, they are not totally wrong. But that doesn't mean that Pastor K, who got the tattoo, was wrong. I honestly did not want to come and get into this conversation online because I have a this and that opinion about it. I'm not against it, but then, why would you keep worrying about other people when you're supposed to live your life to your fullness, as long as it doesn't dishonor God? Does that make sense? Yes. So, anybody who goes out there, steps out there and do these things, I honestly applaud them, because some of us actually are thinking about it, but we're still trying to find the courage, the balance, and the right time to do it. Now, don't rush into it because, oh, Pastor K has done it at now, so let me go do it. Make sure you're doing it at your time because it's what you want to do, and do it in moderation, not to dishonor God, even if it's not a sin. Because as much as tattoo is not a sin, there's a way in which you can go about it that will bring this honor to God. I'm a Christian, and I always have to put that in perspective when I share.